So don't you love it when celebrities use their powers for good?
It's the Overtime Show with Rebecca and Burns on KCBI.
And we talked about this early this morning, like really early this morning at 5:45, I think, about when celebrities go out of their way to do something for one of us common folk. And so, fun fact, okay, you know the Honest Conversations podcast, right? Where Liz Rodriguez and I, we call her Liz Rod on the pod, where we look at tough topics through a biblical lens. So her cousin is the lead actor on the show Psych. James Roday, that is Liz Rodriguez's cousin. And she knows that my daughter is a super fan. I don't know if this video is going to show up at all, but hopefully you'll at least be able to hear the voice. So she orchestrated this.
Well, if it isn't my old pal, Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. James Roday here. As you can see, I have my quarantine mustache. In effect, this serves two purposes. Keeps my upper lip warm and also allows for crumb storage. Little bits of everything I eat are stored there for future consumption.
Isn't that fun?
That is awesome.
I just love that. He just did that for the sole purpose. Okay, now I can't get it off. Hang on. Okay. He just did that for the sole purpose of encouraging her. And I love stories like that.
I think that's awesome. I'm blown away by the fact that Liz Rod on the pod is related to the guy. That's pretty cool in itself.
I'm blown away, Don. I'm blown away by the fact that I have just learned this after being friends with her for years. Like, I feel like that should have come up sooner.
I do too, but now I think like her name should be Liz Roday. We need to work on that. Another great story that is out there. This just came through. There's an artist we play on KCBI. Her name is Daigle. She's a phenomenal talent. She sings some great songs, but she's singing them for good. And I love what she did. Recently, she knows that music is good for healing. You know, people hear music, it'll put a smile on their face, and that makes you feel better. And so what she did is she made a video, a little mini concert of music for doctors, caregivers, first responders, and patients at a hospital in Nashville. And it was a brainchild of Vanderbilt Hospital there in Nashville. And she recorded performances of 6 songs, including the one like You Say, which is her biggest hit ever. And then the one she has now called Still Rolling Stones. And then with help from musicians on call, they did live and recorded music for patient bedsides. She distributed this to 19 pediatric hospitals around the country. 1,200 patients, families, and caregivers were able to enjoy this private concert from Daigle, who just did this out of the kindness of her heart. And that just absolutely blows me when people in the limelight take the time to do something very, very kind for someone else.
And it got us thinking today, like God has given you a circle of influence, right? You have a circle of influence, and that circle follows you wherever you go. So when you go to the grocery store, your circle of influence includes everyone you cross paths with. When you go to the doctor's office, at the office, at church, anywhere you go, everywhere you go, you have a circle of influence. And so we were thinking, what can we do if we each have a tiny little corner of the world? What can we do to kind of clean up and polish up our little corner of the world to make it a more pleasant place? How can we influence the people, or how can we impact the people in our circle of influence with kind acts and just going the extra mile? I don't know. I one of the things that I think is always fun to do is, if you have the means at the moment, to pick up the coffee of the person behind you in line, or something like that, or just send someone flowers, send someone a note. It can be the smallest thing.
I love the thing, whatever you're good at, use that to take advantage of and do it for someone else if you possibly can. Sometimes it can be just a very kind word saying, hey, you look very nice today. Mm-hmm. It can be very simple, but mean oh so much.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today on Overtime with Rebecca and Burns. We'll be back Monday morning, 5:30 on 90.9 KCBI.